In this video, on this 1970 Corvette here, I'm going to be swapping the steering column. So currently we have this burnt orange looking one in here. Doesn't quite match the whole black interior look we're going for. It's kind of outdated, you know, kind of cracked and crusty. You know, we just want something, we have something that's better that we want to put in here. So we don't really want to mess with this burnt orange thing. And right here is a black steering column that we will be using in the Corvette. As you can see, we had the steering column in this 1968 Corvette here, but we think it's worthy enough to be in the 70s since it, you know, just looks better. This one here is kind of scuffed. Still have body work to do on it yet, you know. Interior's not too great. Although that one doesn't even have any. Doesn't have a front or rear glass either. But yeah, we're going to be swapping these columns out. Ought to be a short enough video because it's easy enough. Although the hardest part of this entire ordeal is getting that little pin out of this coupling right there. That's going to be the hardest part of this whole thing. Even though it's just a small little piece, it'll be terrible to get out like they usually are. And a quick note, just look here, this is a power steering box, and that is a power steering box as well. So the columns are shorter than manual steering columns, so they're guaranteed to work. They all use the same pumps, of course, so you don't have to worry about something like that. And remember to like and subscribe to see more videos like these, and also to see more Mopar content. But anyway, I'm going to dig right into it. My first order of business was eradicating a wasp nest located right up in here. Oh look, there's a bunch of dead ones on that nest too. Holy crap. Man, it's like freaking Pompeii in there, man. They died in position. And also this door doesn't open or close, this driver's door, so I want to keep that open. Got to open it from the inside. So now that I got all the pests out of the way, I will then just move on to trying to get this pin out. Fortunately, I found a bolt that made a perfect punch for that little piece right there. This bolt is a perfect sized bolt for this exact job. And I'll probably try to keep it in a place where I remember for future reference. Everything I can to make it as easy as possible. Remove unnecessary items. There's nothing left to do and to actually do it, unfortunately. Alright, so it's not going to come out easy, so I'm not going to waste film. I'll just do one of them fast forward things. Well, it's just a little while later, maybe 20 minutes or so, and I got a good start on this thing. It's coming out, look at that. There's a good dip in there now. So, it's going to drive out of there. Didn't get any fast forward video, just got slow-mo video. I accidentally mistook the slow-mo for the time-lapse option on this phone, so it took a 5-hour slow-mo of me pounding out this little pin. So I had to delete that really quick to save space. But it's going to drive out of there easily now. Yep, there it is. Drove out all right. Didn't take too long. Maybe 20 minutes, 30 at the max. Not terrible. So now it's on to prying out that coupling right there. Get a flat bar or something in there and pry on it. But you can't pry on it too quickly because we don't have anything unbolted. I want to see if it'll jostle a little bit or if it's fused, it's stuck from rust and age. Oh yeah, it has plenty of movement. Just can't pry until you get the bolts out. Hopefully there aren't any wasps living on the interior of this thing. That would not be pleasant. Can't run quickly. But this is what we got for bolts to take this thing out. We have that first nut and stud right there. You gotta back the nut all the way out. Kind of rests in those plastic cushions right there. They kind of break into two pieces and you can still use them. They won't be brand new, of course. Take those suckers loose, and you usually don't want to forget about this back one right here, directly below that passenger side one. There's usually one bolted there, but they forgot, so don't have to worry about that. And right there you have the 4 bolts, 2 right there, that one's missing, and that one right there. Pretty simple. So first and foremost, I'll focus on these bottom 4, well now 3. These guys forgot one. Get these out of here. PB blasted the ends of them so that they're nice and easy to get out. Sure does help doing this without a seat as well. With a front seat here, it'd be kind of a fight for space. feel on your head or something. There we go. Okay, this backing plate right here is liberated. You can take these loose, and I'm not sure. They just kind of give you an extra level of adjustment, but it's unnecessary. I'll kind of loosen these two bottom ones here and try to push this thing forward without it just flopping on the ground. Wouldn't want that to happen. All right, have this thing loose. Maybe I can try to take it out. Yeah, there you go. Good movement. As far as the bolts will let it. Now I'll take the bolts out. Yes, and you don't want to forget to take loose that shifting linkage for column shift cars. That'll directly get in your way.
Really nice piece.
Yeah. Let me rest it there for a second. I'll disconnect these plastic connectors here, these wires. There you go. The old one is out. All ready for the new one. Well, my phone battery died there on me, but here it is installed. Of course, you already watched taking it out, so this is just reverse of taking it out. Except I put this back one in here. They did not have it, but I put one in. But yeah, man, that's real nice. And of course, I got that flange bolted to the firewall, so that's pretty much all there is to it. Yeah, I got these wiring harnesses here that still need to be connected, but for the most part, it steers. That's all we really needed to do. As you can see there, it went in pretty good. Got the pin put back in. Not going to connect the shifting mechanism back yet, because we're probably going to take this motor transmission out any day now, you know. So I don't need that in the way. Just one less thing to disconnect. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you take out your steering column. We'll have to admit I had Dad over here. He was holding on to this end of the column, and he was rotating it, and he was finding the right splinage. I did tell him, though, that the pin was facing up when I drove it out, so we tried it one way, and I turned it all the way the other way, and we tried it that way, and it worked. So just make sure you know where you took your pin out. It's usually straight up because there's a freaking motor in the way. But when you put when you slide your new column in there, you attempt to put it on, you flip it up to where the pinhole is up. And if it doesn't work that way, you switch it and put it in the other way. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Little pin was a pickle to get out of there, but it all went together. Could have probably waited to put that steering column in once we had this motor out of here, this 400. Because we're going to be replacing it with something good, something special. But it wasn't too big of a deal to do it with the motor still in it. A few extra steps, could have been easier, but you know. But in the near future, we will be taking this motor out of here and putting in a 500 horsepower 440 that we had sitting on our shop floor. Putting that in there sometime. Maybe when it starts cooling down. Well, that concludes the video. If you want to see more on this 70 Coronet here, or if you want to see more classic Mopars, feel free to like and subscribe.